Chuck Norris was born Carlos Ray Norris in a small town most people had never heard of, Ryan, Oklahoma. Life there was quiet, but not easy. His father returned from World War II with invisible scars, and the family struggled under his drinking and unpredictability. Chuck's mother, Wilma, did her best to hold things together, working multiple jobs and moving the family 16 times before Chuck reached adulthood. These experiences left a mark. He became shy, withdrawn, and developed a stutter. In school, he struggled academically and socially, not for lack of intelligence, but from the constant stress of an unpredictable home life. He wasn't athletic, confident, or particularly social. Instead, Chuck's early life was defined by survival, quiet observation, and an inner resilience that would later define his career. The small town and humble upbringing shaped a man who learned early how to endure hardship with patience and persistence. A new start in California. In 1956, Chuck's mother finally left his father, taking Chuck and his brothers to California. They settled first in Kansas and then in Torrance, California, hoping for a fresh start. But moving didn't erase the weight of his past. At 16, Chuck remained deeply introverted, cautious and self-conscious about his humble beginnings. He avoided attention and spoke little, unsure of what the future could hold. The world outside still felt unfamiliar and intimidating, and he felt disconnected from his peers. Even at this stage, however, there was a quiet determination beneath the surface. While he didn't know it yet, the very experiences that left him timid and shy, his survival instinct, perseverance, and adaptability, would later become essential tools for success in martial arts and Hollywood. California offered opportunity, but it would take more than a change in scenery to reveal Chuck's potential. The Air Force and a turning point in 1958. At just 18, Chuck made a decision that surprised everyone. He enlisted in the US Air Force. It wasn't about heroism or adventure, it was about stability and survival. Chuck had married his high school sweetheart Diane Holchek and needed a steady job to support them. Weighing only 140 pounds and lacking any athletic background, he faced doubt from recruiters and peers alike. Stationed at Osan Air Base in South Korea, he encountered a transformative experience. Observing Korean and Japanese martial artists practicing with discipline and precision sparked a curiosity that would change his life. Bored and seeking structure, Chuck began training in Tang Soo Do and Taekwondo. Though he struggled initially, his relentless work ethic and focus allowed him to progress rapidly. The quiet, shy boy from Oklahoma started to grow into someone stronger, more confident, and determined, setting the stage for the remarkable martial arts career that would follow. Discovering martial arts offered Chuck more than physical training. It provided a sense of purpose and identity. Long hours of practice honed his focus and patience, while every challenge in the dojo tested his resilience. He wasn't a natural talent, but his dedication and discipline allowed him to surpass peers who initially seemed more gifted. His instructors noticed his determination, and fellow servicemen began calling him Chuck, a name that would soon become legendary. Training became his sanctuary, a place where he could transform frustration into strength. As he advanced, his confidence grew, and the awkward teenager who once felt invisible began to feel capable and respected. This early period in South Korea not only developed his martial arts skills but also shaped the core of his character: perseverance, discipline, and integrity. From these foundations, Chuck would later rise to dominate competitive karate and eventually conquer Hollywood. The competitive karate scene. Upon returning to the US in 1962, Chuck tried becoming a police officer but faced delays. So he opened a martial arts studio in Torrance, California. Martial arts were not widely popular at the time, making his venture risky, but Chuck's approach emphasized discipline, control, and self-respect over mere fighting. By the mid-1960s, he entered his first tournaments and faced significant setbacks. Losses to established fighters like Joe Louis and Tony Tulliners tested his resolve. But instead of discouraging him, these defeats motivated him to train harder and refine his techniques. He studied strategy, developed new skills, and learned to balance physical prowess with mental agility. By 1967, at the North American Karate Championship at Madison Square Garden, Chuck faced Joe Louis again and narrowly emerged victorious. That moment marked his arrival as a serious contender, demonstrating that perseverance and dedication could overcome early disadvantages. The lessons learned in those years laid the foundation for his record-setting career. Rise to world champion. After years of determination, Chuck achieved remarkable success between 1968 and 1974. During this period, he went undefeated in professional competition for 6 straight years, amassing 65 wins and only 5 early losses. He dominated major tournaments, including the International Karate Championships and National Tournament of Champions, earning accolades such as Fighter of the Year and Karate's Triple Crown in 1969. But his influence extended beyond personal victories. Chuck also mentored and trained a new generation of fighters, spreading discipline, technique, and respect throughout the martial arts community. By the time he retired from competition in 1974, he had not only achieved personal glory, but had become a mentor and inspiration. His rise to world champion status reflected his resilience, adaptability, and relentless commitment to excellence, qualities that would later translate into his acting career and enduring cultural impact. Early Hollywood career. Chuck's first appearance in film came in 1968 with The Wrecking Crew, a small role among a large cast. Though barely noticeable, it placed him alongside legends like Dean Martin, Sharon Tate, and Bruce Lee. While still a world champion in karate, Chuck was unknown in Hollywood. His breakthrough in cinema, however, came through his friendship with Bruce Lee. After meeting at a karate tournament, the two developed mutual respect, which later led to Chuck playing the main antagonist in Way of the Dragon. Bruce allowed him to fight back during their iconic scene, showcasing Chuck's skill and introducing him to a global audience. This exposure marked a turning point, transitioning him from a martial arts champion to a visible screen presence. Hollywood was initially slow to embrace him, but his dedication, discipline, and unique skill set ensured that he would eventually leave a lasting mark on action cinema. Breakthrough as an action star, Chuck's rise as a leading man didn't happen overnight. With encouragement from celebrities like Steve McQueen, he began pursuing acting roles in the late 1970s. His first starring role in Breaker Breaker proved he could carry a film, and the low-budget Good Guys Wear Black showcased his ability to engage audiences directly. Chuck employed a hands-on approach, promoting films personally and ensuring their success despite studio skepticism. His action scenes, martial arts prowess, and charisma captivated viewers, earning him recognition as America's homegrown martial arts star. Subsequent hits like A Force of One, The Octagon, and Code of Silence combined action with layered storytelling, proving his versatility. By the mid-1980s, Chuck became a reliable box office draw, with his partnership with Canon Films securing multi-picture deals and creative input. His dedication, discipline, and focus transformed him from a competitive athlete into an action legend. Patriotic action films. Throughout the 1980s, Chuck's films resonated with audiences by tapping into contemporary concerns. Movies like Missing in Action, Invasion USA, and The Delta Force combined martial arts, patriotic themes, and narratives of justice. These films presented Chuck as the everyman hero, facing formidable challenges and righting wrongs in a tense geopolitical climate. His characters often embodied integrity, courage, and decisiveness, qualities audiences admired during the Cold War era. Beyond spectacle, his films emphasized moral responsibility, discipline, and commitment to others. Chuck's popularity stemmed not only from his physical skill, but from his ability to embody values people respected. Audiences were drawn to a hero who could fight, persevere, and maintain honor. These roles solidified his status as a cultural icon, demonstrating that action films could combine entertainment with meaningful character portrayal. Transition to television. By the early 1990s, Chuck recognized a shift in Hollywood and embraced television with Walker, Texas Ranger in 1993. Unlike his cinematic roles, Walker offered moral guidance alongside action. Chuck served as executive producer, ensuring the show reflected his values of family, integrity, and community. Each episode addressed real-life issues such as domestic violence, racism, and addiction, providing both action and lessons. The show's success was remarkable, running for 8 years with over 200 episodes and airing in more than 100 countries. Viewers connected with Walker not just for the fights, but for the character's unwavering principles. Chuck's dedication to authentic storytelling and mentorship extended beyond the screen, influencing martial arts enrollment and public perception of law enforcement. Television allowed him to combine performance with purpose, reaching new audiences while solidifying his legacy. Personal trials and devotion. Despite professional success, Chuck faced personal challenges. In 2013, his wife Dina experienced severe health complications due to a medical procedure. Bedridden for months and reliant on intensive care, Dina received unwavering support from Chuck. At age 80, he paused his public life to care for her full time, demonstrating a quiet but extraordinary devotion. This chapter underscored his character, resilience, loyalty, and prioritizing loved ones over fame. Similarly, in 1991, Chuck learned he had a daughter from an early relationship. Though the revelation was unexpected, he embraced the responsibility with grace, demonstrating accountability and integrity. These personal experiences revealed a side of Chuck often hidden behind action, hero personas. A man committed to family, faith, and making amends, reflecting the same discipline and courage that defined his career in martial arts and film. Cultural legacy. Chuck Norris's legacy extends beyond films and television. From his martial arts accomplishments to his portrayal of heroic characters, he became a symbol of determination, discipline, and moral integrity. In the digital age, his fame took on a new form through internet memes, spreading humor and keeping his legend alive for younger generations. Chuck's impact is multifaceted. As a martial artist, actor, mentor, and public figure, he has inspired countless people to pursue personal excellence. His story, from a shy, struggling boy in Oklahoma to a world champion and Hollywood star, demonstrates resilience, dedication, and the transformative power of discipline. While jokes and pop culture references celebrate his toughness, the human story behind them reminds us that Chuck Norris's true strength lies in perseverance, integrity, and the quiet courage to face life's challenges with unwavering resolve.